check out this Artemis neutral signature in this new patch. It got a little bit of a buff. Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Wrenched. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the balance patch, patch 3.58. It comes with a lot of great things like that Artemis NSIG bug I just showed you guys, but it also comes with ONYX, the new legend with cannon and gauntlets in Brawlhalla, along with a bunch of great balance changes which we're going to dive right into right now.
Right after this sponsor.
Do you like games? Free games? This is a Brawlhalla video. Of course you like free games. I have exactly what you're looking for. It's called Raid Shadow Legends and it's available to play on PC, Android, and iOS. What's more is it's crossplay, meaning you can continue the grind on PC, and when you have to go to the bathroom, you can keep playing on mobile while you're doing your business in the bathroom. It's pretty convenient if you ask me. But Wrenched, what in the heck is Raid Shadow Legends? It's a fantasy RPG game where you clear dungeons and upgrade your champions to be the most powerful player in the world. Now here's pretty much what I'm doing in the game. My champions are right here. I've got this dude right here. He's my most busted character. I pretty much pulled everything that I ever owned in this game into this character and this character right here. Also, they now have a battle pass, which if you buy, you can unlock all of these insane items. Look at this champion. Look at this polar bear. If you're a new player and you use the link in the description, you'll get 100,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 1 day XP boost, and an awesome champion, the Adjudicator, which I didn't actually get because I'm not smart enough to sign up with my own link. You'll find him here in your inbox, top right, which that's where you'll collect all of your stuff that you get. If you want to click the link in the description to get all of this and also support me at the same time, then they're just down there. Again, thank you Raid Shadow Legends for the sponsorship. They've been really nice to work with. Definitely recommend the game as well. So again, thank you. Alright, we'll start off with her cannon signatures. So I want to start off with D-Sig because I think this one is really cool. And that's not to say the rest of them aren't cool. These are really nicely animated signatures. So first off, this one, just look at this. Look at this animation on this. Okay, so the practical usage of this signature I don't think is going to be that much. Maybe you could in like situations like this, which it's kind of cool that Canon now has something kind of like that, but I don't know how it really will work with Canon other than in this one unique situation where I feel like edge guarding normally would just be a bit better. So I guess it's kind of a mix-up option on the edge here. And then NSIG, obviously I gotta hit him up. You can do D-Light NSIG, and that's like a kind of viable thing if they don't dodge, which sometimes can happen. You can do side-light NSIG. It does a pretty good amount of damage too. And her side sig on cannon also does a lot of damage. So ONYX is a hard-hitting legend on her cannon. And I think the rest of the signatures do really well with her cannon, except for the D-Sig. This one is kind of unique. We'll kind of have to see how people play with it, but for the most part, the other ones are really good. Gauntlets, you have this neutral sig. You could do some kind of setup with it. Not really at a side light, you know, but like you could do some kind of setup with it. It's just good to have an anti-air on gauntlets, I suppose. That's not just a light attack. Side sig on gauntlets, you have this. The startup on this is kinda, I don't know. Like I feel like it could be a move where your opponent just gets caught in like headlights and then gets hit by it anyway. I think the best spot to be using this sig is on the edge here, like right in this spot, because they're forced to jump pretty much. And like, you know, some people will just spot dodge or like just sit there on the edge. So this is a good way to get them off, and it has a decent amount of force as well. So, you know, it's a good option to be using there. And then her D-Sig, easily her best signature. Just look at how quick this down signature is. Like, look at how fast it is. It's got a bunch of force and later health. Let's put this Azoth up a little bit. Look at this. It's so good. It's such a good move. So this is easily the best signature. This one's gonna be easy spam. Easy spam on ONYX. So, you know, if you want to win with ONYX, use that D-Sig just enough, you know. Oh, what's this? What's this map? This is, oh, Brawlhaven? What is this art? I like it. I really like it actually. They updated the art for Brawlhaven. I don't know. I kind of miss the old Brawlhaven. But this one is also pretty nice. I don't know why, but it makes the stage look a bit smaller for me. Axe Sidelight has received greater time to hit and recover on miss to better match its high string potential, reward, and overall range, while the Neutral Air has received a reduction in stun to grant wider dodge windows during such strings. Some power has been shifted from the down air into the side air so it may better serve as a main knockout tool, given that the down air contains great string potential on stage. So basically, they toned down Sidelight's time to hit a little bit to make it a little bit more risky, so you can you definitely can feel it now. Like this move, like this is me doing a move out of it as quickly as possible. So it's gonna be much easier to punish an Axe Sidelight now. So with blasters, they have shifted some power from its neutral air into its down air, allowing a greater breadth of follow-ups from rising down airs at low health ranges due to its altered force and knockback range. So Blaster's down air got a lot more force, and the variable angle of knockback is now slightly more vertical. So let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's definitely noticeable. So it sets up for a GCD light literally in white, because before you couldn't really do that without fast falling. Now they literally come to you. Let me see. I mean, it's still not really a tight like string, you know? But the fact that it sets up that nicely is really good. Neutral air decreased damage from 16 to 15, you know, just kind of typical, a little bit less damage. So 1 less damage for getting hit by this I feel like isn't that much, because you'd be getting hit by it a lot. But if you get hit by it 4 times, you know, that's 4 less damage, so that's something. The cannon changes that were in experimental, the entire rework has been graduated into the game now. So you have this new cannon N-Light that actually like fires now. You have this new cannon Dare, which is pretty good now. And then you have this new Sidelight, which apparently is worse than the old side. I know it's pretty different than worse off than it was when it started in experimental, but I think it's nice to see a rework. Like the fact that BMG is willing to do a rework is really good. And I think it brings a new kind of fresh air to cannon. Even if it's not all completely good, like Sidelight, not an amazing move anymore. Like you can't really do stuff like that anymore. I think overall it's for the best, and also cannon with like this new Dare gives it a bit more depth than it once had before, a bit more potential off stage with it as well. So I think good changes all around. It's now pretty much Sidelight. You get this damage, that 380 that you just saw at the end there with damage on. So now you get the damage for actually anti-airing people instead of hitting it just off the ground, which I think is good. It promotes more use of Sidelight as an anti-air tool or to catch landings rather than just kind of something you dash up with. At the end of it, you're still going to get the most of the damage out of it. And then as for recovery, just a bit of increased stun and increased force. So kills a bit earlier, it's pretty much it for recovery. It's something Gauntlet players have been asking for a super long time now, so it's a good change. I don't really mind it. It's a good way to balance Gauntlets and make them a little bit better while not buffing Nair, because when Nair is good on Gauntlets, the weapon is broken. Like the stuff that you can do on Nair is just gross, right? So if Nair gets any more stun, like they're literally just a broken weapon. Hammer pretty much just does less damage on Neutral Light and Nair, which I think is good because the damage build on these weapons, for even though they're heavy weapons, was a bit excessive. Like the trade-off for string weapons still wasn't that great. Like you should be winning if you're trading it with a heavy weapon, but like you really had to out damage them as a string weapon to catch up. It's still just as good as it was before, I think. Like the damage is just kind of bringing it a little bit back into line. I think we definitely could still see a bit more into Hammer, like especially with the safeness of down air. So Lance Sidelight decreased damage just by 1. Lance Downlight decreased damage from 20 to 17, decreased stun from 21 to 20. So now I don't think that this is something that you can even hit true, even on Vrax maybe? I don't think you can. So that's great. Now Lance isn't super annoying to deal with just because of a downlight. You don't really have those long strings that's like downlight, endlight, downlight, endlight. Lance Nair decreased stun from a range of 33 to 28 from a range from 31 to 26. So basically less stun on this, so you have more time, more frames that you can dodge or just fast fall. Lance Side Air, you can really feel this one if you've played Lance lately. You can't just throw out Sair over and over and over. You can't just immediately jump after a Sarah now. You kind of have that little bit of extra time now in between. Makes it just a little bit more punishable, which I like because it was a pretty hard to punish move in the first place, just because of the movement that comes with it. So overall, pretty good changes on Lance. I think it, you know, dials it back a bit in areas where it needs to be, while still keeping it like a decent enough weapon. Because Lance, like, no one really wants to admit it, especially Caustic's. That weapon was a bit gross last patch, so I'm happy about it. Basically, increased time to hit on Nair from 14 to 15, increased recover time from 6 fixed, 17 variable to 7 fixed, 17 variable, decreased damage from 16 to 15. So they're shifting the power from neutral air over to spear recovery, which now has a decreased time to hit from 16 to 15. So now it'll hit a little bit earlier in the recovery, so, you know, when they're in the air, it's a little bit more threatening. And Nair is a little bit carrying the hit a little bit less, which I think Nair was very, very overtuned on Spear compared to everything else on Spear. Which Spear, like, I honestly think as the meta was developing this last patch, I was starting to think like it's actually becoming a higher tier weapon. Like it's one of the better weapons in the game. So I think that changing just shifting the power a little bit from the super strong Nair into the decent recovery is good in the long term, and I kind of want to see more changes like that to Spear, because this weapon is a bit weird right now. So finally, for the weapon balance changes, we have Unarmed, which basically what the devs are trying to do is they're trying to make Unarmed worse than any other weapon, so you have an incentive to pick up a weapon. Before, Unarmed was still really strong, and it was potentially even better than some weapons off stage with how Dare is and how D-Light Ground Pound is. But because of the changes to Neutral Light Side Air and Down Air, especially the Side Air and Down Air ones, Unarmed is looking a bit less powerful in this patch, which I think is really good for the game. It incentivizes you to have a weapon at all times. It gives you a bit more advantage if you are keeping weapon control, because now Unarmed is a bit worse. So Unarmed Neutral Light increased force from 45 fixed 31 variable to 52 fixed 31 variable. So it's now a better, like, it's better for creating space and helping you find a weapon. That's good. That's what Unarmed is supposed to be promoting. So I think it works really well. That's the one buff that I would agree with for Unarmed. Unarmed Side Air, which this move was really strong. This move was so strong. It's still really strong. It's still a pretty strong move. But look at all this recovery time. Like, you'll feel it if you go into training mode. The recovery time on this is insane. So now if you whiff a Side Air and directly in front of them, you are going to get punished. Like, you are going to get slapped up for it. So now you can't just throw out Side Air for free, which you had Side Air and Light. Like, you still have that, but now it's a bit riskier to go for. It's really, really easy damage before, and it was also really just easy way to create advantage. So making that a little bit riskier is good in my opinion. Then Unarmed Down Air changed force from 39 fixed 25 variable to 65 fixed 5 variable. So that fixed force means that it'll always have like a decent amount of force, but then the variable, it's decreased a lot. So that means in higher damages, it's not really going to scale up in force. So that means you won't have those stupid, like, you know, Dare off stage, they're in red, okay, they're dead now. That kind of stuff isn't going to happen that much anymore unless you catch a recovery out with it. So, you know, that's good, because this move was really, really, really good before. It's still good because of the diagonal angle, but now it's a little more risky to go for. And, you know, I think it might even help with follow-up potential, like just stuff like this. Actually, I think it removes the Dare and Light combo that was in the game at one point, like just before this. It was a situational combo. It wasn't really that useful, but now it's not really in the game anymore because of the changed force. But overall, I think it's good because now Unarmed is less scary offstage. So that's nice. Sig changes. Neutral blasters decreased force from 65 fixed 57 variable to 65 fixed 53 variable, increased minimum charge time from 6 to 8. So basically, now you have to charge this a little bit more worse, which I think it's good. The minimum charge time, basically, the impact of that makes this combo not true anymore. So now that's dodgeable, which is good, because it was really, really strong before. But yeah, generally the Sig was good in the first place. It's still a good signature, just that combo potential is gone, so that makes Cassidy a little bit worse. And then Cassidy Side Hammer increased recover time from 10 to 13. So basically, now you don't have this super hard to punish side sig. Like, you can't really just do anything out of this signature. A good change for her end signature would be to change the angle to one similar to Ember's bow neutral signature, because look how fast it is, and it true combos. Why should this have such a good angle? Like, basically almost a straight up vertical angle for that. I think if it had a more diagonal angle that sent them all the way up there, I think that would be much better for the weapon, or not the weapon, but just Cassidy. Yeah, with that pretty much wraps up the video. I think this patch really is a step in the right direction. For balance, we're kind of slowly getting out of this heavy weapon meta, which was absolutely disgusting. In the future, I'd like to see more changes to signatures, kind of like the ones that we had here, except more aggressive changes to characters, especially like Azoth and Kaya, where their signatures are kind of really not known to be super good, but I think that they are really strong, and soon people are going to start showing that off. Like, you've seen Blazy on Azoth, you've seen Zapapi on Azoth. Overall, pretty nice patch. Don't really have any complaints about it. I think this is really insightful for me especially. I hope it was insightful for everyone watching, and remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. All my links are in the description. Any support is just amazing. So with that, goodbye.